Factsverse presents Worst Injuries in the Olympic Games. Number 1. Kerri Strug. Kerri Strug was competing in the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. Before Kerri's turn, one of her teammates slipped and fell off the vault twice. This must have shaken Kerri, because when it was her turn on the vault, she almost stuck her landing, but she fell backwards. She tore tendons in her ankle. However, she didn't give up. When she tried the vault again, she nailed the landing on one foot. When she was able to, she dropped to her knees and crawled off the floor. She was unable to compete in the rest of the games, however she did bring home a gold medal. Number 2. Katie Glynn. Katie Glynn, a field hockey player from New Zealand, sustained a serious injury when she was competing in the 2012 London Olympics. While playing the Netherlands, Katie ran forward and put her stick in between another player's legs to try and get the ball. Katie didn't see the Netherlands player who was trying to hit the ball away, and her stick came right down on Katie's head. She had trouble walking away, and she collapsed to the ground. Her head was covered in blood, and she had a concussion. She didn't want to give up, though, so she had her head stapled, wrapped, and then she continued representing her team in the Games. Number 3. J.R. Selski. J.R. Selski is a United States short-track speed skater. On the final day of the Olympic preliminary trials, he had already qualified to compete in the Vancouver Olympic Games. When he was competing to place in another race, he lost his footing on the final lap. When this happened, his skate lodged into the thigh of his left leg. When the trainer pulled the skate out, they noticed that the skate hit an artery. Blood immediately began gushing over the ice, and JR could see his femur. After he healed, he continued training and he was able to bring home the bronze medal. Number 4. Greg Louganis. When Greg Louganis was competing for the U.S. diving team in the 1988 Summer Olympic Games in Seoul, South Korea, he had a diving accident. He was attempting to do a reverse 3.5 somersault. When doing the dive, he didn't move far away enough from the board, and he hit his head very hard. He fought to remain conscious, and the medical staff rushed to the pool to get him out. He ended up needing stitches in the back of his head, and he went on to win a gold medal for the United States. Number 5. Annemiek van Vleuten. Annemiek van Vleuten of the Dutch Olympic team had a very serious injury in the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio. On August 7, 2016, she was part of the women's cyclist road race where she was leading the pack. With just 6 miles to go, she skidded a bit on the side of the road. Her bike flipped over. When this happened, she flew into a ditch on the side of the road. She was immediately rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. Number 6. János Bárányai. János Bárányai, a Hungarian weightlifter, was competing in the 2008 London Olympic Games. He was attempting to lift a barbell that weighed 326.3 pounds when his right arm buckled under the weight. His arm flipped around backward and he tore ligaments and muscles and he broke his arm. When this happened, he dropped the barbell on himself and it landed on his back. He fell on the ground, writhing in pain, and he told the Associated Press that he had never felt so much pain in his life. Luckily, he did not need surgery, but he did have to spend 3 weeks in a Hungarian hospital to rehabilitate his broken arm. Number 7. Samir Aitsaid. During the 2016 Olympics in Rio, French gymnast Samir Aitsaid suffered one of the worst injuries in the Olympics. During a qualifying event on the vault, he ran forward. When he landed, he crumbled and his leg snapped. It was an internal fracture, however, it was very obvious that his leg was broken. To add insult to injury, when the medical team was carrying his gurney to the ambulance, they dropped him. Luckily, he was able to stay in Rio to cheer on his teammates and is now going to make a full recovery. Number 8. Nancy Kerrigan. Nancy Kerrigan had the most famous injury in Olympic history. Not only was it a serious injury, there was also a great deal of drama behind the incident. Figure skater Nancy Kerrigan was the frontrunner in the 1994 Olympics over her rival, fellow United States figure skater Tonya Harding. Harding was so worried that Kerrigan would come in first place that she hired a man to hit Kerrigan in the knee with a metal baton. Luckily, Kerrigan recovered in time to compete in the 1994 Olympic Games, and she won a silver medal. When the investigation into the attack led to Harding, she was banned from ever being allowed to compete in figure skating competitions ever again. Subscribe for more.